Hey everyone, I'm Emily, and today I'm going to be talking about the stats and extracurriculars that got me into 14 colleges, including NYU, and also as an average student who does not have high test scores and barely any activities. So I'm going to be looking at my college application because I forgot basically everything. First, I'll tell you all the colleges I got into, because I got into 14 out of 16 colleges that I applied to, and I was accepted into NYU, Northeastern, Binghamton, Hunter College, Stony Brook, Baruch, Syracuse, Brooklyn College, Rutgers, City College, U Albany, U Buffalo, Queens College, and St. John's. I suggest to give a little bit background information about me. I live in New York City. I was born and raised here, and I go to a large New York City public high school. For all the schools, I applied as a computer science major, and I did regular decision for all of them except 5. I did early action to Baruch College, Hunter College, Brooklyn College, Queens College, and City College. Those are all CUNY schools, which are city colleges of New York. Also, my school doesn't have honors classes. They only have honors students, which means if you get a certain grade in each class, you get more points added to your average. And my class size was about 750, 800, so I think that's pretty big. And my school didn't have rankings. But yeah, for test scores, I only took the SAT. I didn't try the ACT at all. I took it 3 times. The first time was December of my junior year, and I got an 1190. I got a 610 for reading and 570 for math. And then the second time I took it was in March of my junior year. That's when it started becoming digital, and I got a 1220, which is only a 30-point increase. And I got a 600 for reading and 620 for math. So my English grade actually went down 10 points, which I do not know how that happened. And then the third and final time, I took it in October of my senior year, so it was a few months ago, and I got a 1260. So I got a 650 for reading and a 610 for math. So that time my math grade went down. But then super score, I got a 1270, 650 in reading, and 620 in math. But yeah, I only submitted my score to the schools that had averages lower than my score. That was not that many. And then for APs, not including this year, I only took 3. So in my sophomore year, I took AP US Gov, and that was my first AP, and I got a 3 on that test. So yeah. And then junior year, I took 2. I took AP Lang and AP Environmental Science. I got a 3 on AP Environmental Science and a 2 on AP Lang. So I did not submit AP Lang scores. I did submit my AP US Gov and AP Environmental Science scores, even though there are 3. I feel like those scores are not good to get into good colleges. But yeah, and then this year, senior year, I'm taking AP Calc AB and AP Psych. But I haven't taken those tests yet, so yeah. But it probably won't go that well looking at my past scores. And then since I live in New York City, we have regents, which are just classes that have tests at the end of the year, and we have to pass those to get our diploma. So there's a regular regents diploma and then an advanced regents diploma, and I'm gonna be getting the advanced regents diploma because I took, I think, the maximum amount of regents that you can take. If you finish the regents requirements earlier, you just continue taking the classes and taking the tests even though it's not required anymore. I took 3 of those classes in 8th grade. I took Algebra 1, US History, and Living Environment, but I did not take those tests because of COVID, so those got waived. Freshman year, I took 3. I took Chemistry, which I got a 72 on. I took Algebra 2, which I got an 84 on the test. And then I took Global History, and I got 89%. So freshman year was not it. I did pretty bad on those. I don't know why. I think it was just because COVID just happened and I was still trying to get used to everything. And then sophomore year, I took 4 of those tests. I took Physics, which I got 91%, Geometry, and I got 94%, Spanish, which I got 90% on, and English, which I got 91% on. So that year was honestly so much better, which I'm really happy about. And then I didn't have to take any more because there's no more classes after that. So I finished the Regents sophomore year, which usually doesn't happen. People usually finish in junior year, and I got 2 weeks off at the end of the school year when everyone else was taking the test. And then now for my classes, freshman year I took 8 classes. I took Algebra 2, Chemistry, Drawing Fundamentals. I was put into the Digital Art and Design program at my school, so there's required classes for that. English, Global History, Spanish, and then Health and Gym. And then sophomore year I also took 8 classes. I took AP US Government, which I also got college credit for just for taking the class and passing. I'm not sure if it transfers though. I also took English, Geometry, Intro to Digital Art. I also took Physics and Spanish, which I also got college credit for, and then Career and Financial Management management, and gym. And then junior year, I took 6 classes. I took AP Lang, AP Environmental Science, Chinese 1 because I finished my language requirement in sophomore year because I took the Regents for that, but I still had to take a language, so I just decided to take Chinese. And then graphic design, which I got college credit for, and pre-calc, which I also got college credit for, and then gym. And then this year, senior year, I'm taking AP Calc, AP Psych, and advanced graphic design, and gym. And for my GPA, it's on a 100-point scale, not a 4.0 scale. And my school only tells us our weighted GPA, not our unweighted. So my weighted GPA is 102. I'm not sure how to calculate my unweighted. I know there's calculators online, but I'm not sure if those are accurate or not. So I'm just gonna tell you what my school tells me. But yeah, unweighted, I'm pretty sure it's a lot lower. So those were all my grades and test scores, and now for my activities. But I just have to say, I had no leadership positions whatsoever, which I know a lot of colleges look for. And I wasn't the founder of any organization. I didn't make my own club or my own non-profit organization. I didn't have a passion project or anything like that. But I listed them all in order of importance. For the first one, I did a computer science program for girls, and I did that the past 2 summers. And it's with this organization called Code with Clossy. Yeah, so basically it's a 2-week program. The first week you're learning about coding, and you don't even need to have any prior experience. So that was really nice because I didn't. And then the second week we worked on a project and we had to make our own website or app. So the one I did last summer, I did mobile app development, and I did that in person, and I really liked it because I made so many new friends that I still talk to today. For that one on Common App, I said that I gained Swift experience, which is like a programming language for iOS apps. I pitched app ideas to my peers and Apple mentors because we had people come in that worked for Apple to like help us get a better understanding about the apps because we were making iOS apps. I worked with 2 other girls to code the app in 2 days, which I cannot believe. Thinking back on that, I'm like, how did we even do that? But we did. So yeah. And then we presented and demoed our app in front of a public audience at the Apple Store on 5th Avenue in New York City. That was actually a really good experience. I gained some public speaking skills, especially because it was just random people in the store that could watch and listen to us. And then the summer before that summer, I also did Code with Clossy, but I did website development, and this was online. But I said I developed skills in JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. I pitched website ideas to peers, like the rest of our class. I worked with 2 other girls to build the website in 4 days. And then we presented and demoed the working website in front of everybody in the class. And then my third activity, I did SYP last summer, and it stands for Summer Youth Employment Program, and it's a program for New York City students where you can gain work experience and get paid. I was working at a church and we were doing food pantry stuff, so I said that I assisted in food distribution to 100 plus individuals a day. We had to learn about food safety because it's like really important when you're giving out food. And yeah, it was a lot of customer service because we had to deal with all the people coming in and asking questions and wondering about all the different stuff there. And then I had 2 volunteering activities. The first one I listed is a non-profit organization, and it's a global organization also recognized in the United Nations. But I joined that in the beginning of my sophomore year, so in 2022. That one I was only a member. Even though there were leadership positions, I didn't get any of those. But on my Common App, I said that we do weekly street cleanups and recycling projects like recycling bottles and cans. We did a clothing drive and coat drive where we distributed winter coats to 100 plus people. We also hosted local events. It was mostly for children, and we do like holiday stuff like for Christmas and Mother's Day, stuff like that. And for the events, some of them I helped with like the decorations and designing materials for them. Then we also always coordinate songs and dances to perform. And then we also went to nursing homes where we interacted with all the elders and like sang songs and dance. And then my second volunteering activity, it's also a non-profit, but it's a student-run organization, and I joined that last summer. It's like July 2024. That one I was also only a member. We mostly did food pantry stuff, so I said I distributed food/essentials to 100 plus people a day, provided translation support when needed, sorted and packed donations, organized shelves, and did park cleanups. And then I was only part of one club in school, which was Key Club, and I joined that at the beginning of my freshman year, and I was only a member for that. I was only in one club throughout my whole high school career, and I wasn't even in any leadership positions. So yeah, those were basically all my activities. So yeah, hopefully that gives you some confidence in your activities. I feel like it's most important that you show commitment and that it's also related to what you're trying to pursue in college. I think that might have been helpful for me because of the 2 computer science programs that I did, and I did it for 2 years, so that might have showed that I was committed to it. Okay, so for letters of recommendation, I got 2. I got one from one of my instructors from Code with Clossy, and then the second one from my Chinese teacher from school. And I would say I'm not the closest with any of my teachers, so I honestly had no idea who to ask. I don't really participate in class. I don't really raise my hand or like stuff like that. But I think it was helpful that I got a letter of rec from my coding program because I applied as computer science major. And then for honors and awards, I had 0 awards, like nothing. But I was in National Honor Society. I joined that about a year ago, but I was only a member. I wasn't like president or vice president or anything like that. Okay, so for the essays, I only did the required essays. I didn't do any optional responses or essays. So like I only did my personal essay, and then if the school required supplementals, which is only 3 schools: Columbia, Syracuse, and U Rochester. So for NYU, I did not do the optional essay. I only submitted my personal essay. But I feel like you'll get a better chance if you actually do the optional essay. Since I didn't do that, I don't really have any advice for you, but I would say don't write about how you want to go there because of the location, and that's in New York City. It's your dream to be there. Don't write about that. Instead, you should write about the major and the program you're trying to get into, and like the opportunities they have and how it'll set you up for success. And also research about their stuff besides academics, like clubs and events, because it can show you're really interested in NYU or any other college that you're applying to if there's supplementals. And of course, I'm not like an admissions counselor, so take my advice with a grain of salt. Honestly, after I submitted my personal essay for a couple schools, because I was asking people if my essay was good enough to submit to some SUNY schools, and they said yeah. So then I just submitted those, and I was planning to edit it again, but then I didn't. I just left it for all the colleges. But yeah, I think that's all my stats I applied with. I'm still genuinely confused how I got into some of these, like NYU. That still sounds so insane to say. So hopefully this video will give you some confidence and hope in your applications. Like, you don't have to have the highest test scores or take so many APs and get like high grades. You don't have to have a lot of activities or leadership positions or passion projects or anything like that. I've seen other people's stats videos, and some of my stats are like the opposite of theirs. So hopefully this is more realistic for some of you. It's like the middle of April and I still don't know where I'm going. Unfortunately, I will not be able to go to NYU because it's just too expensive, and I want to do something in business since I got into their Shanghai campus, and I don't know how it would be if I go to school in Shanghai but then I want to do something in business back in the States. But I will be thinking about that for the rest of my life and be wondering, what if I went to NYU? Literally no one and nothing can convince me that it would have been a bad idea to go. So yeah, hopefully you guys are doing better than me with that. So yeah, that's how I got into NYU and 13 other colleges. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to comment them, or you can also DM me on Instagram and I'll respond to you there. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more senior year content and also college vlogs, and I'll see you next time. Bye.